What's up, guys? My name is Dave Cole Giovanni. I'm the owner to SUPRA Inspections. This is the SUPRA Show, Season 2, Podcast Edition. I'm hanging out with my co-host, Doug Tricarico. Thanks for being back. Doug was my first ever interview in Season 1. He's coming back Season 2, and you're going to see him throughout every single episode, which is really great. Really appreciate Doug's insight. How you been, Doug?
Good. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to do this with you. Doing well. Market slowed down a bit, but the inventory is still low. The interest rates have definitely affected the buyers' buying power.
Yeah.
But it's still a good time. I mean, rates are not what our parents paid in the teens.
Yeah,
But
without a doubt. Yeah, because last time we were speaking, it was probably middle of the pandemic, I feel.
yeah.
And I'll tell you what, just kind of being around you now, I could see that phone ringing just as much as it was back then. But, we do know that, of course, that, the market's down. But, how are you staying, how are you staying busy? If you don't have the volume of buyers and sellers going out looking for homes, how are you keeping yourself busy, say, in an office space? What are you doing? What's your day-to-day look like?
Now's the time to really try to stay top of mind of people. Getting some marketing strategies out there that reaching out to contacts that you have, maybe not even people looking to buy, but reaching out, calling them, making sure that if they do know somebody that's ready, that you're the one that they're going to give it out to.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. So I would say this sort of has eluded me for a while now. I mean, there's people who kind of continued that process of purchasing a home when rates went up. There was those people. But what are keeping some buyers on the bench as opposed to the buyers that you kind of continue to work with over the last couple of months that just did end up buying? What's the difference between those two types of buyers, the one on the bench and the one that bought?
I mean, some people got spooked out when the rates shot up. I think they are going to start to level out a little bit. They might not go down to 3%, 2% that they were at, but I think once they level out, that's going to give some confidence back. I think as we go into the spring, hopefully we get some more inventory. I think the inventory is the biggest thing right now. There's not a lot out there.
Really?
So when things come on, you are still seeing bidding wars. You're not seeing $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 over, but you are still seeing things going above asking a little bit when they're priced accordingly. Pricing is the number one thing.
As far as inventory, do you find that it's what's the balance of homes compared to say townhomes and co-ops? What does that look like? Is there ever a time where there's just more people are listing, townhouses, or there's more homes for sale? What does that market look like now?
A lot of people think townhouses are cheaper because they're attached. They get taxed of single family houses for the most part. There's not a lot of them. They are scattered throughout the county, but they still go at high numbers. You could buy a townhouse for over $1 million.
So, if 10 homes were listed for sale today, what percentage of those homes would be actual homes, and what percentage would be say co-ops and condos?
I don't have that exact breakdown. To be
No,
honest.
you don't.
No.
I was really curious, but that was a long shot of a question, but I just,
I think a lot of times your condo co-ops are either people looking to downsize.
Yeah.
They're selling their house and they're going to move into there, or it's a first-time buyer.
Yeah.
That's getting their first place. Single family market, I mean, again, the inventory is practically non-existent.
Wow, no way. Yeah. So what's the advice for I'm gonna coin this phrase called buyers on the bench, and I find that I've done plenty of home inspections the last few months where I was working with people who just kind of pursue what they were looking to do, and then people just kind of sat on the bench. What does their strategy look like now for people who've been in the market for 2 years and are just still on the bench?
I mean, you got to keep them excited. Even if there's houses that aren't meeting their needs, they got to get out and look. The only way, you got to get out and make it happen.
Wow.
I think a lot of times now, people can't necessarily afford to trade up with the rates. They're going to sell their house and get close to top dollar. That's great, but then where are they going? They might be buying a lesser house or in a lesser neighborhood and be paying more money than what they've had a few years ago. I think that's a big part of what's keeping the inventory where it is right now.
Yeah.
I mean, again, hopefully in the spring we start getting some good houses come on, and these buyers will get intrigued again. I mean, again, keeping them interested is probably the most important thing.
Really?
And again, staying on top of them, even if you don't have anything to show them, touch base with them.
What's been like the number one like reason, like, Doug, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna put off this search for another couple months? Like, what's like what is that reason? Like what's the number one thing you're hearing?
People that were renting, they might have re-upped their lease. So
Yeah.
I mean, in December, a lot of people are buying Christmas gifts. They're running up their credit card bills.
Yeah.
So they're not.
That's a killer.
They're not in the. No one wants to move in a snowstorm, so it's a lot
Yeah.
easier to move in the middle of the year. Also, when school starts, people always are trying to buy and get in before the next school year. That way, they could register their kids.
Yeah.
And get going. No one wants to uproot in the middle of the school year. Then their kid's the one that's starting halfway through the year.
Yeah.
At a new school.
Yeah, I mean, what's tough is like, it's like, you know, like you just said it, like holiday time. So like, not only are we trying to buy and sell some homes, which are some really important investments to make, but everyone is being sold on so many goods these days. It's just like they'd rather jump on the the $50 deal on Amazon. It could be just about anything, and you kind of stack that on top of each other. Next thing you know, their credit is dropped. You know, now they're getting stressed because they're like, oh, well, you know, I just spent this money now, and you know, how am I going to buy a house? And you know, and that could be a spending issue. But I mean, it's tough when you're competing with like a lot of just sort of what's the word for, like you know, just regular, you know, consumer products.
Yeah,
that are killing their chances of buying a house.
Well, I mean, just consumer products are up right now too, so money
Yeah.
that they might have been able to save is now going just to spend in everyday living.
Yeah, but the inflation that's hitting like the grocery store right now, like, are we seeing that inflation in home prices, or are those are down, right? Correct?
I mean, you're seeing it in the rates. I mean, if you were buying something this time last year versus now, your buying power is down.
Yeah. And now, so like, aside from, say, you know, people buying homes, are you finding people like investing homes to flip? Is that down, or is that the same, or is that going up?
No, I mean, investors are always going to be out there. In our market, I mean, it's a lot more to put up initially, so you're risking a lot more, whereas in other areas of the country,
Yeah.
you're able to buy something at a little less risk.
Yeah.
But I mean, the houses that are move-in ready, those are the ones that are moving quickest.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. Yeah, I think a lot more home buyers are gonna have to start thinking more as like an investor.
Yeah, I mean, you're able to then go in and create the value into the house instead of overpaying.
Yeah, no, without a doubt.
Make it your own. Find your dream house and make it. I mean, you can't change the location. You can change the physical characteristics of the house.
Yeah. Has the price of building materials, is that like, remember that skyrocketed? That was like one of the first things, like just the price of like plywood and lumber. What's happened with that, and has that affected any sort of like investments with people that you know?
Yeah, I mean, the cost of building was up. I don't know necessarily where it is now. I think it definitely leveled off.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't have the skills necessary to go in and renovate a house, so they have to hire somebody. They're going to bring in contractors, especially the good ones, are basically on a wait list now. So it does take time to do. But I think you're going to start seeing, especially where the inventory is where it is, if people want to get into a certain area, they might not be able to find the perfect house, so make it. And at that point, you're able to add the value yourself to the house and be rewarded versus paying top dollar for something that somebody else did.
Yeah. So like, as far as inventory, we need sellers. Where do you find, what are the sellers that you're working with? Like, what are they doing? Are they going down south? Are they downsizing? Are they moving next door? Are they, I mean, like, what are sellers doing, and what's motivating sellers to listing their home?
I mean, life changes. You have people retiring, they're moving out of the area, people trying to move into the area for the schools or to get into what Westchester has to offer.
Yeah.
You have people that are kind of being priced out and finding opportunities elsewhere. Or now with working from home, they can go further north. They might only have to commute 1 or 2 days a week or even less to the city, so they can stretch that commute out and find something with a little bit more space in other parts of the county or state.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's like the biggest question right now is like, because a lot of people who are just working from home right now, like I was doing a mold remediation in Garrison, and for a guy that was selling the house, I'm like, where are you going? He's like, I'm going to South Carolina. So why is that? He's like, I'm going to South Carolina because I just want a lifestyle change. He goes, I don't have to commute into the city anymore. And I'm like, wow, I'm like, are people really just not commuting into the city? Is that a real thing? I mean, is working from home here to stay? What do you think? I don't know.
I think some aspects of it
Yeah.
is, I mean, full time from home, I think they're still going to want you to come in to report.
Right? Yeah. But if you're going to South Carolina, like,
God bless
like, hey, we need you here on Wednesday. Like, I bet people make it happen, but
Instead of a couple $100 a month for the train pass or parking in the city, the gas, all right, fly up for the day.
That's it. Yeah. No, without a doubt. All right. Well, look, man, that's good stuff. Guys, look, season 2 is now kicked off. We're going to be talking more like this. We got some really great guests, this season. Appreciate your comments and your feedback on this, and looking forward to more.